Greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 181, brought to you in part by, and the whole thing by, San Diego.Futbol. Check out sandiego.futbol for everything Two Balls and San Diego soccer related. The champions, Los Gigantes de CONCACAF, return. Mexico wins the Gold Cup tournament, the coveted, actual, meaningful tournament that actually has some weight and merit to it. Not some overblown friendly with a trophy at the end of it. The Gold Cup comes back and returns to San Diego. Almost came to San Diego because the U.S. did not beat Panama in the Panama Canal Derby. Supremacy once again for the Panamanians in this one. It was a good outing. We got credentialed for the Gold Cup. Had a little season's greetings. We'll talk about all of that experience. You went to watch that in person. We saw the U.S. in person as well, but also San Diego Loyal, local boys, the lads, 5-0, the biggest win in San Diego Loyal history, maybe. They've had a couple games with a couple goals, but a clean sheet as well.
Messi a la MLS, yeah.
Messi to the MLS. There was obviously a San Diego MLS meeting, supporters meeting, held at Modern Times. We were both there, so we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that. We're going to get into it, too, later on in the week with Chelas con Chavos. That's going to be making its way back. We're going to go ahead and talk about everything that's kind of happening here in the San Diego landscape with that. Speaking of locals, Christina Birkenroad. This is a really, really long intro. Christina Birkenroad and Mia Fishel, San Diego products, did not get signed for San Diego Wave. The Women's World Cup is going to be on its way. And that's going to be very, very interesting, along with... I don't know. I went to watch a Cholos game.
You did on Friday. Cool. How was that? Ganaron. They won.
Ganaron. You're welcome.
Against Cruz Azul.
Yeah, went. It was pretty cool. We can talk about that a little bit later, but just on the top, obviously, we are credentialed. We were fortunate enough to get credentialed for the CONCACAF tournament. So just again, the point of this podcast, if you're now joining us, is to make it to the 2026 World Cup with media credentials, press passes, however you want to say it.
We need to know what we're going to do after.
Sure. We should have already had that plan by now. We're figuring it out, but essentially we've been trying to, since the beginning of this podcast, we started along with San Diego Loyal. The team was starting, and, we sent an email. I sent an email that was embarrassing, a DM to the San Diego Loyal Twitter account. I don't think people know about that. I did it like episode 50, but maybe I can touch back on that. But essentially it was this road of all right, we need to make ourselves palatable, desirable, un bizcocho de podcast. To FIFA to be all right, credentialed, come and watch a Mexico game, right? That would be the ultimate, right? To watch a Mexico game in the Mundial. Cool. It's coming in 2026 to our backyard. Great. We have been going along this road, and again, if you think it's a pat on the back, no, it's just catching people up. And then, Loyal, and then Wave came in throughout. There's been things here, things there. 1904, we've done Cholos. The San Diego Soccers employed us for some ungodly reason. Thank you. Really appreciate it. San Diego Loyal to an extent as well. So, just slowly building it. We've made it to the first Mexico friendly here at Snapdragon.
Chivas in LA.
Seen Chivas, LAFC. Just everything, we didn't get into the Holiday Bowl, a football game, a collegiate football game, but that's okay. Because guess what? Because of that, because we were denied for the Holiday Bowl that was canceled, that's what happens, unfortunately, when you
deny us, you get canceled.
That same guy,
crazy.
That same guy that same entity just approved us for the Wrexham Man U game, and then hopefully the Dortmund versus Loyal game. So, on the trajectory of it, long story short, we were credentialed through CONCACAF to make the Gold Cup semifinals. It was going to be in San Diego. It ended up being the U.S. versus Panama. It was in the midweek. Look, the U.S. got stifled. The U.S. got given the short end of the stick. I don't know how that happens. That kind of tells you, right? There's no real, the game is played in the U.S. There's going to be trickery, this and this and that. They're gonna no, they literally played in the middle of the afternoon in a very hot day at Snapdragon Stadium, as hot as it gets, and they were given the short end of the stick like in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. ¿Qué pedo?
You tend to think that more people are going to tune in on TV for the Mexico game. That's probably the reason why Mexico played in the later time. Came to be that more people showed up at Snapdragon than people showed up at Allegiant.
Which was very interesting. Shout out to Loyal Naku, Mr. Paul.
I saw Cesar Hernandez, a good friend of ours, works
was
for
here?
ESPN.
Oh, wait, where?
He was there in Vegas to cover the Mexico.
Oh, yeah. And then we were here at Snapdragon. Yeah.
And, you replied to his tweet saying, like, oh, it's actually a good crowd. It's just sunny. It's very hot. Yeah. And that was the case, very right? Hot. It was probably the hottest day of the week.
Yeah.
And by now we know Snapdragon does not really provide shade. Only on the west side of the stadium for a little bit, for a tiny part of the stadium.
News was maybe broken, but it wasn't. The MLS was very clear. San Diego MLS is very clear of not going to want to put up the money for a roof. So that can just be buried. It's on San Diego State's.
Yeah.
But at this point, like their asses can pay for it at this point. Like that's what you get.
So go to the semifinal, right? We head over to the tailgate. We went to the Mexico game, right?
Yeah.
And that tailgate was amazing. It was a culture shock for you. You'd never been to a Mexico game.
A culture shock in my own culture.
Yeah, no, it really was.
Wild.
Okay.
Miguel! Idiot.
Miguel, se cayó.
Why are you kicking my stuff?
It's closer to my side. Those audio listeners, I just dropped Miguelito. Anyways, great environment for that tailgate. Now we go to the U.S. one. Way smaller, less people in the tailgate. It is the middle of the day on a Wednesday.
100%. Yes.
Super hot day. We went to go talk to the American Outlaws.
Yeah, there was a different vibe. Like we have friends there, obviously Presidente Steve, Chris Garcia, who giant wrestling fan, like he's doing it. He's living a wrestling fan's dream right now. But a lot of people that we've been knowing, Paul, obviously, kind of guided us through the crowd.
Because they were very closed off with their cars.
That's where they put them. That's what I was told. That's where they put them. So they work with what they got. But at the same time, it's like, I wonder what would have happened had it not been the U.S. and had been Mexico. Would it had been more like the Mexico-friendly way we saw, or given the circumstances with the heat and everything? Or maybe it's just different, right? Like, it's just different, like the American soccer tailgate experience. I haven't been to, say, a big U.S.-Mexico, match, or a match that there's a lot of tailgating from the American fans, and they're set up for success. So I know that, and you know what? The people that were there, they brought it, because honestly, the crowd at Snapdragon was phenomenal. And I told you, and you corrected me, I wasn't there. You say the America crowd was...
Yeah, I mean,
America
not to take anything away from the American Outlaws.
No.
They went
off. See, that's fine, but I wasn't there. So to me, the American Outlaws and the U.S. Porra, that stadium that filled that 31,000 people at Snapdragon, was probably the best supporter group in that section that has had for soccer.
Yeah, and I was there for the America Cholos game.
Sure, but even then,
America Barra,
but guess what? They don't play here. Like, it's an anomaly, but it's like I've never experienced U.S. soccer that way. They really got the stadium involved.
Into a fan?
They really got the stadium involved. The people were getting into it. Like, there's some, okay, dale US, okay, like, all right, like,
well, we will say this, right? And we talked about it, and one of the things that we pride ourselves is always being very honest with everyone, and they were better than what Pancho Villa Army with Chavos did on that Mexico friendly.
Yeah, the resources seem to have been there. I don't know what it was, and that's not throwing anything. And I'll tell whoever's coming in, Miguel, for Chavos, we'll tell them. And if the Chavos don't agree with that, like, let's have ourselves a debate. But honestly, those güeritos brought it. Like, they were out there for the entirety of the match. It wasn't until like the last 15 minutes where they got some shade. But even then, like, it was really, really good. They lost.
They did lose, and that was great.
They lost.
Panama had a great Gold Cup. Carrasquilla, number 8, center midfielder, plays for Houston Dynamo, 24 years old. That dude is Europe bound. He ended up winning the Golden Ball in this
The best
Gold
player.
Cup Best Player award. But we saw him playing and we're like, oh, dude, este way, this kid is good. Like, just the way he moves the ball, the passes that he does. It's just that Panama doesn't really provide, like, other players to support him. But, I mean, in the future, you never know. But, yeah, I mean, go ahead.
So that was a very ruckus crowd. The entire stadium was rocking. I give all the props to everybody that was there. It was a really good experience. My respect for U.S. soccer went up. That's as fair as I can be. And the crowd did that. Honestly, what the U.S. showed me, okay, it's a headless chicken. That guy had no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like that post conference, like I have it. We're gonna go ahead and upload it too, as well as the soccer Mexico version in the Gold Cup final versus Panama that you have. But essentially, like he was just saying, I did my best, and that's about it, guys. No sendejas, whatever. I didn't get to ask him that, but ultimately it was a really good experience. It was our first CONCACAF Gold Cup experience. And I mean, damn, like it says 2 balls and a mic digital media on here.
La comida.
And you know what? The food was great. If we want to talk about it, food is great, on point. And like I pride myself on this. Like I was told by somebody like, oh, I have those a dime a dozen. I have so many of those at home. Like, ¿sabes qué? You know what? Like, great. And I really appreciate you for that. But guess what? It like each one of these means a lot more. It's like a medal. I really consider these a medal.
Yeah.
And it's an honor to be able to still be around the professional game, even though I couldn't play in it, but I'm still somehow in it. And that's so cool where people have followed us and people have been están echando porras and they keep asking like, oh, when's this going to happen? When are you guys going to go over here? Or who's next? Like, there's a lot of opportunities coming here in San Diego next coming year. So let's focus on that and, move on like Panama did while they beat the U.S. because Panama then went over to face the juggernaut, the giant, el gigante de CONCACAF, papi. The one, the best, the most winningest team, national squad in this tournament with the most decorated player in CONCACAF, Memo Ochoa, in goal. Mexico beating Panama 1-0. I had to do a work all-day staff training in the sun. I could not get out of it. We work at the same place. I couldn't get out of it because you I don't know, whatever. But
I didn't have to be there.
I didn't have to be there. That's
I
so
didn't.
stupid.
I
That's
did
stupid.
not.
You like
I did not, and you know that. And that's why you're so bothered.
It did-
Because you couldn't go, and I got to go to the final. Let's set it clear, right? We didn't know the final ended on that day until like maybe after the semifinal. That we're like, oh shit, the 16th. Oh, we can go to the final. It's in LA. And you're like, oh shit, I have the training. I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry you couldn't go. But let me tell you, this experience for the final was incredible. And I know it hurts because this game meant something. This game gave Mexico their 9th Gold Cup, the most in CONCACAF history. This game gave Ochoa his 5th Gold Cup, like you said, the most in CONCACAF history. This game redeems Mexico in a way, not winning a title since 2019. This game was huge for the Selección Mexicana, and you couldn't be there, boys.
Y este fue.
I'm sorry, boys. Let me tell you, like, SoFi, as a soccer stadium, it can work.
okay.
It can definitely work. They do need to expand on the corners a little bit more because there's not enough room for the corners. It's very tight. But the view anywhere is phenomenal. I go in, right? I get there early. I was like, you know what would Tony do?
Yeah, I would get there
get
at
there-
fucking 9 a.m. I'd be there at 9 a.m. What time did you get there? 9:30?
11.
It's too late.
They didn't open gates
Too late.
till 1:30, and then parking lots didn't open until 11:30.
Oh no.
But yeah, so SoFi Stadium, obviously, one of the newest stadiums here in the United States of America, Inglewood, California.
Thank you for clarifying of America.
Yeah, phenomenal stadium. I wanted to know what the press room would look like. It is huge. It has, I think, like over like 160 seats. Like for meat, like meat, it's incredible. I was in seat 157, like row 1, seat 57.
Las fotos.
¿Las qué?
Las fotos.
¿Fotos?
Yeah.
Déjate mando. Ahorita te mando.
I'm just glad before you. Yeah, like I'm okay with it. I'm okay with you going. I'm okay with all of it. I'm okay with. I learned because I learned through, I guess, experience what the term gaslighting means. And the whole time I was just like, I'm okay. Like, it's fine. I would be mad if Two Balls and a Mic Digital Media did not have representation in the Gold Cup final when we could have, right? Like, now we know we can be approved by CONCACAF. Now we know that the next step, honestly, from there is FIFA. Like, FIFA has no excuse other than us fucking up somehow to not be like, hey, give him a spot. Give him spot 199 and 200 out of 200. Tus cositas. I canceled it. I canceled the airdrop. I'm sorry. My bad.
Tony, why the sunglasses? El Toro Fuerte is asking.
Oh, because the seasonings are being suched.
You got it?
No.
Sandy.
There it goes. But I'm glad that somebody had representation there. We were there, so.
No. I mean, overall, the only thing I didn't like about the press box is it's closed off through a glass window, so you really can't hear the crowd, kind of like you can at Snapdragon or other press boxes that we've been to.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just very big. I'll tell you this: the food is way better at Snapdragon.
Is it really? You showed me pictures. Do you have pictures of it?
I think I sent pictures or videos of it. I like the food better at Snapdragon, and I think it's the chef. She is amazing.
They are amazing. They are just fantastic. It's that whole team, the squad of Snapdragon Stadium,
you know
culinary.
So I don't want to sidetrack a little bit, but I will because we have Man U.
It's our goddamn show. We can
Man
do
U
whatever
against Wrexham, right? Then we have Loyal versus Dortmund, big game. September, Messi comes to LA against LAFC.
We have to be there.
We have to be there.
We have to be there.
That's the next biggest thing. Like, we get to talk to Messi. Like,
wouldn't that be something?
That would be something special. You got it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, the game, I mean, we all saw the game. If you didn't, like, you missed out. It was a great game, 0-0 game up to the end.
It was a great game, 0-0. Yeah.
No, it was back and forth.
Yeah,
And Panama had their fair chances as well. Ochoa had a couple good saves, still showing why he's probably the best goalkeeper that Mexico can put on the field. Although this could be his last tournament.
Yeah.
It very much could be. He could retire from Mexico with his 5th Gold Cup. You can tell it meant something to him. He put it on his Twitter, like 5 of them already. Other than that, like, Jimmy Lozano in the press conference, it was the story, right? If Mexico wins, is Jimmy Lozano staying as the head coach officially? And that was the biggest thing about this game. If they lost, you knew he wouldn't get re-signed.
Yeah.
Like,
because, I mean, we tried. Here we go. It's fine. Same thing with the
Exactly.
U.S., right? Just wait till Berhalter comes back.
So it takes a substitution
weird.
in the second half for Chaquito Jimenez, obviously top scorer in the Europa League. Comes in and just individual play, takes on the defender, shows his pace, and gets the goal to win the Gold Cup, right? Other than that, the game refereeing was awful. Referee gave a red card and took it away because he realized the player that fouled at first didn't foul. So the refereeing was just absolutely terrible. But yeah, this is the English commentary of the goal.
Jimenez running in. Jimenez!
So even with the glass paneling in the press
you
box,
could hear the screaming, but not as much as if it wasn't a glass window, obviously.
Was it hot?
They had AC in there.
But outside?
the stadium has AC. It's closed off with the roof, but then also has like some openings, but it's fresh in there.
Okay.
It's not hot in there.
I thought maybe the chance was gone. Maybe he's too
The cool thing about SoFi is you go in and you're on the 6th floor.
Yeah.
Like that's the main floor. So it goes down.
Yeah, it's downward. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. You're not high up or anything like that. Like there's nothing else to say about this stadium. SoFi
Yeah.
is just obviously designed for football, but they made it work. And you see Mexico celebrating. And again, this trophy really just puts Mexico back on top in a way. In a way, it does.
Here we go
Right.
again.
In a way, like
here we go again. When was it where we were just like, this is the worst ensemble of players ever created
And,
for the
no,
Mexico
here's the
national
thing,
team? Like,
no, here's the thing. If they re-sign Jimmy Lozano, I really do think he can make a change. I really do think he has the balls to be able to like stand up against the federation, because they're the ones that tell the coaches, you need to play these players. You know, it's not like Henry Martin didn't have a good season and he's starting like Funes Mori did with in the World Cup and stuff. Like Henry Martin had a great tournament, earning the starting spot. Then you put Chaquito Jimenez and takes the goal. Like obviously he should be the obvious starter moving forward. In the press conference, that was the first question. Jimmy Lozano, te vas a quedar?
are you saying Jimmy Lozano just for
Are you gonna
our
stay?
non-natives?
He obviously did say, well, my contract was just for the Gold Cup. As of now, I'm a free agent.
Ooh.
And he did share that, you know, he wishes nothing more for Mexico to be successful. It's
Yeah, he
his
used to
dream.
play.
It's
Yeah.
his dream to be the coach for Mexico in a World Cup.
Ooh.
So he wants to stay, but it's not up to him. It's really not. It's up to the federation whether they're going to want to keep him. At the end of the day, the Mexican Soccer Federation makes so many mistakes, and they're known to not make the right moves. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get re-signed, but he really should be. I don't know. Do you want him to stay, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, if he got this team of players just back in it, back on track as far as being able to come in and play a difficult team like
there's-
Panama.
like their style
Look,
changed, though.
Panama, porque le echaron más huevos. It happens. It really happens. This as a Chelsea supporter, new flood comes in, and it's like that energy of like, okay,
that's-
something changed.
that's-
Okay.
Yeah, but that's something I've always talked about about national teams, right? You don't need a coach with a bunch of different tactics like Guardiola or anything like that. You need a coach that motivates the players, that the players respect, and they're going to play for not just the country, but for the coach as well. That's why I love Piojo Herrera back in 2014, because the players loved him. The chemistry was there. I really do think national team is 80% chemistry. If the players love the coach and the coach really loves the players, then the team is going to be playing really, really good. Because at the end of the day, you have such a small amount of time with this group of players for them to really get to know each other and used to their style, that chemistry is really all you're going to have. Like that good vibe on the field, like anything like that, players happy, morale is going to be huge for Mexico.
But how like that has to be almost bottled and like saved and stored for next time, because like he was able to do this here for this tournament for this group of players, but over this time between now and 2026, that's a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like then you have to start putting your tactics in. You have to start putting some flavor in there. And that's the thing in world football, you can get figured out really quickly too. And so if that's the case, you're really gonna have to either make up for it with some tactics, or you're just gonna be exposed.
I
And
think he has the tactics
sure,
as well.
we don't know. And that's the thing. Mexico never, ever, ever goes down the long term, bro. We would have won the World Cup with a teach.
He did say that in the press conference. You know, Mexico's known to not trust the process.
Yeah.
And that's obvious. That's obvious, right? I hope he stays. I want to see what he can do with this project, with this experience. I didn't see Martinoli.
You were looking for him?
I didn't see him.
Did you see anybody?
I saw people from Univision that I recognize.
Uh-huh.
Like, people that I've seen on TV and stuff like that.
Who?
I don't know their names.
From
Like-
where? Like some Avengers?
Huh?
Like some Avengers? I don't know.
Avengers?
Yeah, it's LA, bro. It's the biggest. There was a bigger crowd here than there was at the Super Bowl, bro. Of course, there's gonna be celebrities.
72,000. I did see Fluffy,
Oh, that's
the
pretty cool.
comedian.
Oh,
Ya
okay.
que bajamos, like we went down to walk to the. He was in a golf cart, like those carts, being escorted out. And I was just like, oh, that's Fluffy. I didn't get to record it, but yeah, I saw Fluffy. That was pretty cool. Oh yeah, the goalkeeper came out, got a yellow card for that.
I respect that so much.
Yeah,
I love this goalkeeper, honestly. This whole
Yeah.
the Panama team that ended up facing Mexico. Look, they barely won 1-0. They barely beat this team, and that's what I was talking about in the last episode. Is that this is really going to show the fact that the U.S. didn't really have that it factor, right? They were a good team, but at the end of the day, like Mexico had a solid team, but had enough talent sprinkled in there. Santi Jimenez, like just that next level, like item, like it just it's like if you have a terrible outfit but you have a good watch, like that just puts it all together. And so Panama was really good. I really liked this team. Like it's crazy, like the storytelling of just seeing a game in person. Like I saw the U.S. play against a good Panama team, a collective team, a team that didn't stop fighting, against a U.S. team that, you know what, they could have had it. They could have had it, but they faced a team, a unit. They have experience. Talking with the Panama coach, he was like, yeah, like I know these guys like are very united. There's veterans here. Like I fell in love with that. Like it's really cool to see those storylines just kind of unfold in front of you. So hopefully we can take some of these experiences and turn them into something, maybe some writings, maybe some more content on a different level. San Diego Punto Futbol needs some population on there. So check it out. I mean, we have all of our
I did
back
introduce
catalog
myself
stuff,
in the press conference like that when I got to ask for the Panama coach.
Who
I
did
did
you-
say
yeah,
Alejandro Villaseñor, San Diego Punto Futbol.
Hell yeah.
I did say San Diego Punto Futbol.
Damn right. Unlike me, last time I said it was like de San Diego. I told Don Antonio Sanchez aquí de San Diego.
Oh no.
And I was just so confident in the question. I was like, whatever, it's fine.
I said, Profe, buenas noches, Alejandro Villaseñor de San Diego Punto Futbol.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Sí, eso es un equipo.
Dije, mencionas jugadores como Carrasquilla y otros jugadores jóvenes que vienen subiendo ya en la selección de Panamá. ¿Qué le espera en el futuro a Panamá?
No, es que sí, es una escuadra que es
He
muy unida.
does talk like that. That's crazy.
Y la verdad estoy muy orgulloso de lo que ha hecho mi Panamá.
Wow, that's pretty accurate. But yeah, so Mexico wins.
Jimmy Lozano para Loyals. Loyals.
Qué mamón.
Rod Luck. Fluffy. He saw Fluffy.
Yeah,
All right.
it is pretty dope. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's obviously an experience of a lifetime getting these credentials. Talking to Cesar Hernandez before the game, he's like, I have so many of these. And I was just like, he's like,
That's not who I was talking about earlier, by the way.
Oh, no, that's just me. No, Cesar Hernandez was talking to me, and he's like, he did say when he first started, he's like, would keep him, right? And he was just like, and he was just like, oh, yeah, no, like, now it's just like, okay, another one, because he's been doing that so long. I told him, yeah, no, we're at that point, like a couple years ago where these credentials are special to us.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't have gotten here without you guys.
Oh,
And
the
I
boy.
appreciate it, and I'm really sorry you weren't able to go.
You had nothing to do with that.
I know, but I
And
know
guess what?
how much you would have loved going.
1,000%.
I
100%. But you know
know.
what? Instead, I worked all day in the sun. I trained 190 people on how to do their job with children. Make sure, just keep your distance and don't swear in front of them and don't lose them.
Yeah.
And then I went to watch a movie that just bummed me the fuck out.
Which movie?
The Sound of Freedom. Oh man, it's a child trafficking movie by the guy that played Jesus Christ in The Passion of the Christ, Jim Caviezel. And it's literally, the message is powerful, fantastic film. Honestly, if you want to go watch it, I'll get you a free ticket. Like they're giving away free tickets because it's a really important message, and that's something that needs more attention and resources. So. But it was the worst movie I've ever seen. Just like cinematically, it's just a very poor movie. But it's a really good. Yeah, it's in theaters. Sold like the room was sold out. I had doñas left and right, just like that didn't shut up. Like, oh, ya sé quién es. ¿Y qué está haciendo? ¿Y por qué? And why is he here? Who's that? Ma'am, none of us know who the fuck this is.
None of us have
They
seen the movie,
just
man.
showed up. It's the opening scene. ¿Y qué va a hacer con eso? Why? That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Something happens.
That is true. But yeah, so Mexico wins the Gold Cup. In other news that are happening here in the USA of soccer,
The USA of soccer?
yeah,
What does that even mean?
soccer in the USA, MLS.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Inter Miami had the unveiling of Messi at the same time as the Mexico final. Leave it to them to do that just because the US didn't get there or whatever. Fine.
Hola, amargados.
3.5 billion people tuned in to see that. 3.5 billion people. Like, that is insane.
It's the most important signing in
MLS history.
MLS history, in American sports history.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, the greatest of all time.
La
plays in the
cancioncita que
United
pusieron
States.
también. Like, this is legitimately.
Is there anything you can compare this to? Like, WWE wise, anything like that? No, right?
This is the pinnacle of anything that has to do with sports. Like,
Yeah.
I can't, like, what is the next thing that's so massive and global that it legitimately just demands everybody's attention? Like, there's nothing in sports and entertainment in,
Yeah, there isn't.
like, name me a sport. Football, biggest. Patrick Mahomes goes to the Patriots. Okay. Baseball.
Tom Brady returns. I mean,
No.
that's happened.
No,
And no, it's
no.
not. It's nowhere near it. I mean, it just shows like what Messi really is.
He got nutmegged by his son in the
He
presentation.
did. I did see that. That was crazy. They also announced Busquets right after. She's like, "Hey, I'm also being added." Jordi Alba is set to join us, well, supposedly. But anyways, like,
And we're about to see
what is-
this team play here in San Diego in 2025. Stay
For sure.
tuned.
What does this mean for soccer in America, though? Like, realistically,
We'll see.
Do you think like it's just going to explode where people are just going to tune into MLS more? I mean, I know for sure I probably will be watching Inter Miami games moving forward.
This
Like,
is.
his first game is gonna be against Cruz Azul.
I really hope it is, and I hope it's not, because then it's not convenient for us, because it's gonna be harder to get credentials. But I really hope this is the sports version of Beatlemania. You know what Beatlemania is?
Beatlemania, no, I don't.
Oh my god! All right, wow. Oh my gosh, that hurts. The Beatles? Do you know?
Oh,
do
okay,
you
okay,
know
okay.
who the Beatles are?
I know who the Beatles are.
Yikes! All right. Do you understand what Beatlemania is? No.
A concert.
That's such a bad. And I mean, I will get.
Was it like a big festival?
No, it was the arrival of the Beatles.
How long do you think Beatlemania will last?
As long as you all keep coming.
Like, they touched the U.S. for the first time, the Beatles, and people lost their minds.
Okay.
Like, absolutely lost their minds.
Okay.
Right? Sorry for those that are listening to screaming grandmas now. At this point,
Yeah, they are.
it's all black and white. But
Sí, todavía están vivas. Bueno, pues en paz descansen.
anyway, the last thing on the Snapdragon game with the U.S. is that it was the saddest thing that I've seen in a while. Dazzling displays on a silver screen. That's whenever I go to the movies and Jim Caviezel and this, go watch the movie, is you get this message by the fantastic, ¿cómo se llama esta morra?
Yo no sé. Yo
No sé cómo se llama,
La
whatever.
bonita de AMC le digo.
La morra de AMC. Not Maria Menounos.
My girlfriend hates her.
Her
Yeah.
or Maria Menounos?
No, her.
My girlfriend hates Maria Menounos, the one that's before the Nuvi girl, because she used to
Okay.
be a wrestler.
My girlfriend just hates her. She's like, who goes to the movies in heels?
Together. Dazzling images on a huge silver screen. Sound that I can feel. Somehow,
Heartbreak feels good in a place like this. That heartbreak feels good in a place like this is exactly what I felt when the U.S. lost in penalties at Snapdragon. Just a pin drop. Respect to everybody who was at Snapdragon. Salutations to everybody. We're going to go ahead and work on right now, bringing the fantastic, the always trust me, the bearded one, the great one. Hopefully we can get join. Hopefully we can get this virtual camera work.
Two balls and a mic encyclopedia. Tony the Elder explains stuff to young Chiva.
Who said that?
Mayoría cuatro.
Two balls. I mean, I can school you on so many things.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know.
So
for sure.
many things.
I know.
Did you know that the guy that was responsible for the radar in Pearl Harbor was actually a San Diegan? And that because of the night of Pearl Harbor, there was a giant party, and that's why all the boats were there, the important ones. And you would have thought a swarm of things would have shown up on a radar, but the guy was partying and this and this made out to be a drunk. He's a local San Diegan.
Oh, let's invite him to the pod.
And then they made it into a movie, Tora, which was actually a slander on him. It was terrible, but San Diego connection to Pearl Harbor. There you go.
Chingón.
Anyway,
¿Ya se metió el compita Alan?
shout out Jeff. Shout out everybody who's here. Let's see, Mr. Alan Underwood here is going to join us in a bit to talk some Loyal, because San Diego Loyal played in what was probably their biggest win.
Is it their biggest win?
I mean, I would consider. Hey, here's the thing: is it their biggest win because they were again in a situation where they're up a man for a lot of the game?
I mean, they were already up 2-0 before the red card.
Yeah, they were going to win that game anyways.
Before he joins, let's just talk about San Diego Wave real quick. I did respond to someone on Twitter just because they kept saying, like, I don't know why people are mad. Me vale verga, güey. Me vale verga. Why are people mad that San Diego Wave didn't sign Burky?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we don't know what their plans are. Yeah, true.
Oh, I love this. Okay, keep going.
True, but you have to understand, you have to know that if you want more goals, you need a striker. You need a striker that can score goals. That's on a great run. That's in great form right now, and that's Christina Birkenroth.
Yeah.
Like, she has been scoring goals in the Liga MX.
Clearly, you haven't been watching Liga MX Femenil, which before you open anybody opens their mouth, we have. Yeah, we have. We've been there. We go to the games. Do you?
We have.
And if you do, that's great. Let's go.
People also saying,
Just brought
oh,
some people to
Burky,
TJ.
her time in the NWSL wasn't good. Yeah, I mean, that was a long time ago, too. Like,
There's a conspiracy going that it's and I don't want to start anything, but there's a cool little conspiracy that like Alex Morgan just doesn't like her.
Oh, I seen that.
Alex Morgan just doesn't like Christina Birkenroth.
In their time in Orlando.
In their time in Orlando, she's like, you know what? I don't want Christina Birkenroth on my team. And Casey Stone is like, oh, but Morgan, I don't want Christina Birkenroth anywhere near me.
Then why not Mia Fishel?
I already have Taylor Korniak to fill the tall friend position.
True. I mean, I think it was a missed opportunity. Like, you have a striker that's a natural poacher that can score goals off a lot of crosses, head pieces, like that she does. And San Diego Wave crosses the ball way too many times without anyone connecting.
Yeah.
A San Diego native that the team has desperately needed.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Barcena now, but she's 15.
Yeah.
There's an experienced striker that's probably can be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
Gold medalist,
like
Mexico. Like, it's
a player that fans will
consideration
literally buy tickets to go watch.
and it's consideration for what it is. And again, there's international slots. There's intricacies that
Right now, they don't
obviously-
have any Mexicans in that team.
They don't. They don't. I think Barcenas is
Mexican American.
yeah.
But
So it counts.
yeah, but I mean, someone that plays for the Mexican national team, Burky, that's who she is now. Also, Mia Fishel, free agent as well.
So Mia
after
Fishel is a
her
player-
Mia Fishel is a player
Local
from Tigres
player.
Femenil. She born and
Local.
raised in San Diego, played in UCLA.
Yeah.
Went into the NWSL draft, then got traded to Tigres Femenil. First 2 seasons or 3 seasons there, won 2 championships, won a Golden Boot. Like, she's a beast.
Yeah.
Sources confirmed with me. It was already kind of leaked on Twitter, but sources were confirmed with me that she is going to Chelsea.
That is wild. I think it's one of those that we broke the news.
Supposedly it was official, but it was just kind of like a leak, but
You-
I have the
yeah.
source that literally confirms it. Mia Fishel is going to be a blue. She's going to London. She's going to be in Chelsea. Working on getting her on the podcast, hopefully very soon.
This also increases my chances. You know what? Yeah, you go to your Man U Wrexham. I'll go to Stamford Bridge and go interview a blue.
That's
you know?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's cool.
I'm cool with that.
That's cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, San Diego Wave misses on a chance of getting San Diego talent.
And what I don't like is that
San
there's
Diego.
this gatekeeping or this whatever of like, you know what? And this is maybe bad to say, just it's from my position of male privilege or whatever you want to call it. Like, there's a lot of people who are proponents and have every right intention with the NWSL and women's sports, and it's going in a fantastic direction, and I applaud that, and I hope to be helpful in any capacity for that.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes those same people that, in a way, are like elitist about what they have here in the NWSL and in the US, where it's like, oh no, this is what we have, and they pay absolutely no attention to what's going on in Liga MX Femenil and the fantastic talent that's there. You're telling me that Mia Fishel also couldn't get on this roster for the women's national team?
True.
Instead, you're having a banca position given to Rapinoe, who is on her last World Cup and is going to retire. Like, that's a locker room decision. But there really wasn't a place for somebody who's literally going and le está rompiendo, and and that's national team. That's Wave. That
Has
is what it
played
is.
for the U.S.
Yeah.
women's national team, the youth at the youth
Yep.
level, and won a CONCACAF golden ball with them as well. Like, she has had that representation, and again, like,
And it's something
very
like
blindsided.
we see it we see it with Naomi Girma. Naomi Girma's in all the commercials. Naomi Girma is the star. And that's the thing. She is the real deal. Like, she's 100%.
Yeah.
Mia Fishel is just as good on the other side of the ball.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Missed
whatever.
opportunity, in my opinion, for San Diego Wave. Whether they're looking for that or not, that's on them. But again, it couldn't have hurt to add those players. And we are joined by our beautiful friend, Alan Underwood, for another segment of Two Balls Underwood. Alan, welcome back to Two Balls and a Mic. How are you doing?
Seasons.
Good. Can you hear me all right?
We
I'm
hear
using
you
a new
all right.
computer.
Ooh,
No, we're good. We're good.
new computer.
Oh,
Type of computer.
using
Oh,
it.
my-
Work
this is,
computers, huh?
Yeah, it's my wife's setup. This is our Murphy bed.
Nice.
Yeah. So so I'm in the
So-
office because there's an AC in here. So
I like
it's
it.
actually cool.
So I was kind of before I just kind of got your take before we get into Loyals thrashing 5-0 of the Colorado Switchbacks, the team that they're going to face back to back when they come back home. So I was explaining to him what Beatlemania was. He didn't know what Beatlemania was. Yes, that was my.
I didn't know. I
And,
knew who the
and
Beatles
so
are.
that came about because Messi came to the U.S. and I'm just kind of quantifying it. We're like, there's nothing else in sports that can top this news story or this whatever this major shift. And I likened it to when the Beatles first came over. Like, it took over. It drove people insane. And what is it going to do for the U.S. soccer? And you were asking, I didn't even answer that. It's going to be a caravan just following Messi. And I hope that shining star just kind of lasts for a while and
Those
doesn't
ticket
fade.
prices, though.
Sure, but people are going to pay
People are
for
gonna
them.
pay, yeah.
Celebrities are going to go. Like Aaron Rodgers is going to be there when they go to New York. Like,
People are gonna fly from overseas to come see Messi.
yeah, you see Mbappe going to NBA games. So, Alan, what do you think this is going to be for your nations, your losing to Panama nation, the U.S. when it comes to the soccer structure? Before we get into Loyal right now.
I mean, you have to hope that it helps continue to build the momentum, right? MLS was doing a pretty decent job of bringing talent in and moving along. A decent job, right? We're not like amazing, but you have your Miguel Amarons, you have your guys from South America coming up and doing some and competing at a level that gets them playing time, right? At maybe gives them some minutes that they might not be getting in their home countries. What the bad side of this is if it goes the Steven Gerrard way and it's just you're watching a shell of a player that used to be good not be good anymore. because maybe he's like, I'm all right. Like the Gareth Bale signing for LAFC. Not a key piece. It's a team that's not doing well, and so you just hope that the experiment goes well enough that the eyes of the world are on MLS, and you hope that they take that and run with it. But on the other side of it, it's that MLS's retirement league thing again. It's the getting a player at the past their peak powers, and I'm not sure a lot of teams are willing to take that risk anymore. They want the younger guys. They want was it Puig for
Ricky
LA
Puig, yeah.
Galaxy, right? I think those
killing
are
it
the
right now,
smarter
yeah.
signings. These younger guys that maybe are slightly below what Europe is offering, or guys that are kind of those fringe guys in Europe, and that's who I think some of the smarter teams are signing. But I mean, good for the MLS owners for bringing somebody in who's going to get them ticket prices. And then good for the people who are buying the tickets up who are actually going to benefit financially from it. I'm not sure that some of these teams are going to benefit greatly from, we sold a season ticket for $36 and they're selling it for, $3,000 because people want to pretend to see Messi and he might not even be playing for Miami when they bought those tickets.
I don't.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a conversation starter, right? Now it's the MLS versus Saudi league. That's like the big conversation now too, which is kind of hilarious.
I mean, don't get me started with the Saudi League because they're pretty much doing what China was doing a couple years ago, spending all this money for players.
Oscar's still over there, bro. Oscar, like,
Hulk is still over there?
no, he's in Brazil again.
Brazil, right? But yeah, I don't think that'll last too long. It's not like players are not leaving because Cristiano Ronaldo's over there. Players are leaving because they're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, let's be realistic.
Right.
Messi, I mean, props to him giving up literally a lifetime of money. Like, he would have been set generational
Yeah.
wealth, but he got the smarter deal.
Yeah, 100%. And
I mean, I kind of rather live. I mean, the only thing is that money would have been tax free. Saudi Arabia does not have income tax, so would have been tax free. But at the end of the day, he gets the smarter deal for sure.
no, dude, he would never be able to go to Trader Joe's and get, hounded with hidden pictures through cereal boxes. Of,
Reese's Puff, Reese's
You haven't
Puff.
seen those with Messi
Yeah,
in the shopping mall?
yeah. He bought like Lucky Charms and Reese's Puff cereal.
Oh, yes.
Did we lose
let's
him?
see.
Did
Alan?
the internet go out?
You there, Alan?
I think the internet went out, boys.
No, we're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're good. Watch.
Are you sure? I think the internet went out, boys.
Oh, no. All right, well, we'll continue it here.
About on internet though. I think it's back. Yeah, it's back. It's back. It's back.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see.
back.
We'll see.
Alan,
And
Alan,
we're
we
back.
have you back. Okay,
And
cool.
we're back.
We're gonna have
And
to go
we're
live
back.
again though, because the live stream ended. Sorry, internet connections.
The
Anyone
heat.
hearing this, the heat is
getting
messing-
to it.
The heat is messing with it. Alan, sorry for that.
That's all right. I panicked on my end. It was like,
No,
what did I
it
do?
wasn't you.
What did I do?
Too much
Alan,
power.
what did you do, Alan?
Too much juice.
I'm speed testing over here. I'm like, was it me? Was it me?
Nah, you're good. We'll get started right now a little bit. Tony's
I
just
think
gonna
we're good.
start
Check
up
it
the
again.
live stream.
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Just enlisted. That's why it defaults to enlisted. All right. So, sure, Messi here. The thing to your point, Alan, about Messi and, people after their prime or whatever is that I don't think we've seen what this Messi, we've always wondered, what is this older Messi going to be? He can't always be the speedster on the wing. He can't always be that dynamic striker. He's going to slow down. He's going to turn into this creative. We know his assist when he's practically walking on the pitch. This pass maestro that we know he's capable of being. We never really saw that in Europe. We saw some of that now in Argentina, and he's still dynamic with his play and goals. Is it back?
It's not. I don't see it.
But at the end of the day, like, I'm really interested to see how good it was. Because look, Zlatan came over, and the level was different. Like he really,
That is true.
showed out,
That is
and
very
that was Zlatan. And if you show me Zlatan and Messi, like Zlatan was good, but he's no Messi.
Yeah, and unfortunately with unfortunately with
Oh, hi, Mark.
like the Galaxy is like Zlatan played really well, but it still didn't get him into the playoffs really. Like they just, and this is I think what tempered expectations of you might see Messi do some amazing Messi-esque things, but I'm not sure Messi in and of himself saves this Miami team who's languishing at the bottom of the league. It's like, and I'm not sure most fans of the league care, right? Because most of the people who want to see Messi aren't Inter Miami fans.
Mm-hmm.
They're their own team's MLS fans, or they're folks in the USL sphere, or folks who are casual soccer fans of Europe who want to see Messi play. And so I'm not sure they care if his team ever wins a game, if they get to see a Messi free kick go in, or get to see him drop some times and feed some players in, regardless if they score or not. Because that's the other piece too, right? Like Messi's gonna play balls and pass really well, but who's he passing it to, and are they going to be able to finish the way we've seen some of his other teammates finish as well? So like it's one of those like temper your expectations and just have fun with it, and I think that'll work out for most people.
Well, somebody who it did work out for, San Diego Loyal, Allen. San Diego Loyal face Colorado.
The boys are back. The boys
are back in town soon, but not just yet. Alan, this was a thrashing of a matchup. You have, I think we talked about it, right? Like this is going to be a 4 versus 5 match. Obviously, circumstances are circumstantial, and the red card happens. As you were saying, it was already 2-0 up before that red card, but immediately, seconds into this game, Adrian Perez takes a shot, and literally every goalkeeper's nightmare
Tony,
happens.
analyze this goalkeeping style for me. What did that
Do you really want to
goalkeeper
hear
do
this,
wrong?
Alan? I mean, look.
We all know what he did wrong.
No, look. Just, if you really want to break it down, and what the chances of this goalkeeper having to save this shot right there, it's just a laser. Like if I can have the technology, there would be a little laser circle outside with like the velocity of this rocket of a shot. Impossible for him. There's nothing for the goalkeeper out of the equation. There's nothing for him to do. Adrian Perez just put some voodoo magic on it, and the ball went like this.
Where the team really messed up, Colorado, is nobody stepped up to Adrian Perez. Had anyone stepped up right before that, he would have probably had to pass the ball or give it up or something else. But nobody stepped up to give him the space, and we've seen him do this before. He has taken on that right wing, just passing players left and right, and he's a skillful player, and he has a good shot as well. And this was probably his best game of the season.
Alan, what did you think? We didn't even go over this because it was so quick of a goal. Like, I didn't have time to pause. Oh, look at the puppy in the back. Look at the puppy in the back. That's not you. That's not the puppy.
They just got bathed, so they're like wound up.
The puppy.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's gonna cut in because he likes to cut in. We've seen him do that, and not the best shot, but
you take him though. That's why you take him.
I mean, this is why you shoot the ball. If you got a clear path to put the ball on frame, like go for it. Like, okay, worst case scenario is it goes wide or the keeper makes a save and holds on to it. But like, let's be real, like that shot coming back across, like you might get a deflection. You might have him push that ball right to one of your strikers in the box. It's early, like you're kind of filling them out, but he's got tons of space, and we love to see Adrian play this way. You got two guys there, right? Conway and Toomey are both ready to pounce on that rebound. Like that shot right there looks like he's trying to aim for that the near post. And if he puts it there, that's a really nice shot. It just goes kind of close to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper doesn't get his body behind it, and this is, one of those moments where you take it because you've seen goals go in against you that were not great, that you should have stopped. And so this is, the soccer universe balancing things out over the course of the season. And maybe it's a his vision's blocked by his defender.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
that if it's a legit analysis, like essentially there's three bodies blocking this shot, and you really don't know which direction. There's infinite amount of ways it can bounce, ricochet. And just because of the space and the amount of people that are there, the default is to assume that it's going to bounce somewhere. So you have to be hyper ready to go left, right, up, down, wherever you go. It ends up being, and it's the worst. That's why it's the worst, right? It ends up being just a regular shot, but you're already just ready to pounce and you're tense. So by the time like this ball goes over here, you just can't get yourself to come down all the way down. And you're just stuck in a way. So it rolls in.
I like Herrera's reaction where it's like
And he
kudos
and
to
he just goes
blame.
like, do I do the thing with the knee where I block it? Do I dive? Do I not dive? Like, can I just pick it up? It's attacked weirdly. Like, it's just a nightmare. Poor guy. But goal by Adrian Perez.
And I mean, I think this is also a point of like when things are going your way, these goals happen, right?
Yeah.
And Adrian Perez has been playing pretty darn well over the course of the past couple weeks. I think, he put in a good shift with this one, but he's been a pretty good player the past couple weeks. Played himself back into the squad. He's got 4 goals in the last 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 goals in the last 5 games. Like, from not your striker, like you would take that every day of the week and twice apparently on Friday.
Yeah, and honestly, it's one of those things where like we've been seeing Adrian Perez from the beginning of this season, from the first game, literally. He was doing this types of maneuvering, and I'm glad that it's finally an attacking threat on the wings where you really have that option, not just to cross or have to relay it, because then Jack Metcalf's going to overlap and then cross it in. And, that's just became the formula. There's somebody actually who's attacking who you have to mark, you have to consider. And even if you do all of those things, it's not guaranteeing that you're going to stop him, because he's just that damn good. And again, Adrian Perez is really showing out and is probably the catalyst for why San Diego Loyal has been able to sort of, rescue some of this away stretch where we've been critical. If removed, there's the lost points, the opportunities have been giant as of recently, but the points that you did get aren't bad at all, and the results you're getting are all right. Are you getting lucky breaks here and there with a red card here, red card there? Maybe teams that aren't playing the best, sure.
The thing with that red card is it's on the striker. So the Colorado doesn't even have to restructure their back line or anything like that. But before that, the second goal happens, and that was Adrian Perez again on the right side, taking on players, sending that through ball to Joe Corona, who drops a dime on Bodley, and Bodley somehow just had the Jared Borghetti effect, where he's just headering everything in. And Adrian Perez again, just game of a lifetime. Like this was his best game.
By the way, same. Yes, I agree. But what I want to know, says Sam, is what is AP pointing at? Does he have a grill? Loyal till I die mouth guard. Next time I see him, I'll go ahead and ask him for us. Colmilludo? It wasn't a really like Fox in the box type play. But yeah, so again, you're just talking about this play, the next goal, right? So look, like you gotta hand it to the guy. He's playing some really, really good soccer right now, and again, it's coming together.
On those guys.
Be bubbling with confidence. Serves wide. Corona. Free
What a cross from Joe too. Like, you see Bodley coming from the back. He's raising his hand. He's saying, dude, I'm coming in wide open. Joe Corona drops the perfect ball. Alan, isn't that the perfect ball?
It's a really smart ball too. It's well paced. It's well placed. It takes the defender out. It takes the goalkeeper out. The goalkeeper can't come up and get it. And I think this is obviously a great turn and dribble by Adrian Perez. Like, he's playing, if when Toomey's on, Adrian Perez is on, and Bodley is on, like, those aren't even your strikers, and it makes the team really hard to beat. And again, another like well-placed goal that maybe the keeper should have come up with something.
Yeah,
but this is a really nice ball that Blake Bodley can come and attack and kind of put the header wherever he wants it, right? Like, it's not, you're not reaching, you're not stretching. It just sets him up perfectly so Bodily can attack it the way he wants to attack it. And those balls headed down are really difficult, right? They hit close, they bounce up. Like, you can't just put yourself where you think it's going to be. And headed shots like that are like slap shots in hockey. You're not quite sure where they're going until it comes off of his head. And by that time, it's too late, right? Like, but I think this is what we've missed from having Corona and Charlie Adams out, is this ability to put really smart balls into the box. I mean, no shade to any of the other guys who've been trying to do it, like Toomey, but Joe has that touch that's really nice, and Charlie Adams also has shown his success this season.
Yeah.
Just to be able to play the right ball.
Yeah, a reminder, Nate Miller said at the beginning of the season that he believes that Charlie Adams is playing in his prime right now. Like, you're seeing Charlie Adams in his prime. He was out for a couple of weeks, but he's come back, and I mean, this squad, right? Like you're mentioning it.
We got too excited, to talk about this.
Yeah, no, which is fine because look, I mean, I think we found something with Riley on there. He's come into his own, and I think he's gonna come and get some rest back at home. Maybe you have a chance to get some rotation in there. But I mean, if you start again with the bench of Guido and Kyle Adams, where there's still something there. I think Kyle Adams will get it together. Hopefully, Ronaldo is still kind of that super sub, and if used correctly, he's gonna flourish. But I'm really liking where Loyal is right now. I think the trajectory is a good one, and if there is criticism somewhere, I really can't find it at this point with this particular game. Anyways, but then a red card happens, and all hell breaks loose.
I think the ironic part of that red card is happening is the victim of the red card is Grant Stoneman, and a guy who is frequently tends to be on the other side of some pretty intense play, and he stands up because he's not going to take it, and then it's that. And I think the guys calling the game, I think it's Mike Watts is the head guy calling the game for USL. They did a really nice job of like, hey, there was something else there. We're not quite seeing what we're seeing. Like that's a heavy challenge to begin with. Like that's definitely a yellow card for sure. But I think that they were really smart to not try to be like, that was the red card. Like, that is the red card. I mean, the elbow comes up pretty high the first time. And then I think it's the reaction afterwards that gets him the red card. And I thought they did a really good job of kind of like, I think there was something after. And making sure like, hey, we got to make sure we see that final replay. And they ended up showing that the shot, I think it's the first highlight.
That is not Coquevela celebrating a red card or an injury to Grant Stoneman.
It's definitely the elbow thrown. I believe this is the highlight that kind of shows him stepping into it, and then and you just can't put yourself in that position. He comes at him, and I understand he's like, hey, he came at me, but it's like,
you got to be smarter. You can't lose your head. I mean, and it's understandable, right? You're down 2-0 in the first 10 minutes. Some players are bound to lose their heads, especially in games like this. And fortunately, that gave San Diego just enough to be able to be too comfortable and say, you know what, we can just keep going at it. We don't have to worry on the defense anymore, because we have seen San Diego play against 10 men and still feels like they're playing 11. It didn't feel
or
like
even
that
12 at times.
Bodily getting a brace. And again, Adrian Perez assisting on that one, right? Like, this was the Adrian Perez show. And I mean, he was involved in pretty much every single play in this, every single goal in this game. And Tony's gonna show right now the third goal.
That's why I believe in the hockey assist for soccer. They should bring that in, because
the pass to assist.
The fact that he gets no credit for that first Blake Bodily goal is an absolute shame.
Oh, he gets the credit.
Great ball in the space. Just again, tease him up, right? Allows him to attack the ball the way he wants to attack it. And I think to bring in, like, the issue with the United States when they played Panama is they didn't play balls like that. They didn't play balls into space to allow people to run into them. They just tried to play it to players.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you got to put a ball where the player isn't, right? This is like
Yeah, and have somebody go get it. Like, go figure it out.
You realize that Adrian Perez is going to beat the guy. And again, another nice floated ball. It's not hard. It's not like there's enough pace on it, but it takes all those defenders out because their defenders are going for a low cross.
Yeah.
And so he just chips it up over them, and there's nothing they can do. And Bodily just I think that's an even better header than the first one. Like the goalkeeper has no chance at this one. Like really well placed. The defender is doing his darndest. But because you expect a low cross here, and he just goes, nope, I'm gonna chip it up over, take out.
Yeah, it's the
3
lightest
defenders.
touch on that. The ball's rolling with so much momentum. You just touch it and gently just lift it up. It's a really good cross.
And that's just also poor marking on Colorado side, right? Knowing that you already kind of got scored on like that.
But you're down a man.
But Blake Ball, I mean, you're down the attacking player, though. Your backline should still be solid in a way, right? But Bodley also very much knew, like, you know what? They're not marking me if I'm staying back a little bit. And that's exactly what happens. They didn't mark him, and he was open, and he gets another header in.
I think this is when we're critical of this kind of 3-man back line with the 2 wing backs where it creates space on the wings for the other teams to attack into. This is the other side of that coin where you're trying to take advantage of that by overloading the defenders, where you have 5 guys attacking and there are 4 guys defending, and you just create overloads, and now you're 2-on-1, 2-on-2, or 2-on-3, and it creates opportunities for that wing back to wing back play where everyone's kind of marking the midfielders and strikers, but you're using your wing backs to play across to each other. And then like Adrian Perez again doing his cutback thing. Like, how are you not defending?
Is this an
something
assist?
special.
Do you guys count this as an assist?
No, because it was an off-target shot. That's my goalkeeper.
How is that if it hits the post, it's an on-target shot?
Did it go in?
It's an
not on
on-target
target.
shot, though.
That's
Like,
my
goal, like inches away from goal of the year for Adrian Perez.
Mm-hmm.
I would count that as an assist.
Like,
Like, dude.
like where it hits is just impossible. Like, that's a goal that the post gods for goalkeeper answer your prayers, and even then,
And then they're like,
Adrian Perez is like, no. Look at that. Like,
yeah, dude.
like this is what we call in the biz, in the biz, as
Okay.
just diving for the fuck of it. Like, just because it's gonna look better when it goes in. It's gonna look better than you looking like an idiot
What do
just
they say in
standing there
Spanish?
like,
Pa
oh,
la foto?
para la foto. That's what we say in Spanish, for the picture. So, like,
Yeah.
he was doing his part right there. Like,
The unnecessary dive
Like-
is one of my favorite in sports.
like
where it's like
where
the
is he?
goalkeeper-
Where is he going? What is he doing? He's not even
Beach-
diving upwards. He's diving backwards.
Is Herrera usually this bad, Alan? Colorado?
I don't think so. Like, I don't remember him being like a bad goalkeeper. Like, he's had his like not great games, but I mean, let's look up his stats.
I mean, Coca has had his
1.3
not
goals
great games.
conceded per game. He's making 71% saves.
That's not bad. It's pretty good.
Goals conceded 5, saves made 60. And like, he's not a terrible goalkeeper. But I think that's just one where your defenders aren't stepping into the space. And yeah, that unnecessary dive cracks me up. Beach volleyball is another one that it's like,
Yeah.
you're not going to get anywhere close, but you just unnecessarily dive because it looks cool. Yeah. I mean, otherwise it's like you're just going to stand there and everyone's like, oh, why are you standing there? It's like, well, I wasn't going to get it anyway. Like, there's no difference. But then I also really like Toomey's goal there because he just like, he angrily attacks that. Like, he puts his whole body into the header, just like, ugh. And good for him. Good for him to get, like, that is an angry header. Like,
And he jumped a little early too. And he like barely was able to kind of get it. I think
Yeah.
he like even doesn't jump where he jumped. Like that header could have gone over the crossbar.
Yeah.
So it just worked out
wonder-
perfectly.
I wonder if it's the synthetic grass that it's a little bit bouncier, that he wasn't expecting it to bounce as high.
Could be.
But like, look at that. He's like,
Because he almost has
like,
to.
yeah.
No, what it is, he's just it bounces higher, and he almost has to reach back and get it. Like
Yeah.
it's not for where he has to reach back and then put enough momentum to put it forward. Because usually that'll hit on top of your head and go backwards. But it's just a great effort. Just land on his butt. I could watch this all day.
Yeah, this is the point in the game where I'm like, I kind of stopped watching. I mean, this game was like,
It was over. Like it was over.
because they were already dominant 11v11, and then when we went down to 10 men, I'm like, this has the potential of getting ugly either way, right? It's either going like Loyal is going to continue pushing, or switchbacks are going to get angrier. It's going to get more physical, and they're going to get a goal, and it's 2-1, and then all of a sudden it's not going to be fun. But again, San Diego, I think, does a good job of keeping their head around him. Maybe offside, but again, it's nice to see Collier getting a shot and
get his confidence up.
Seems as if he does better when he doesn't have time to think about it.
That's very true. The thing with Adrian Pettis, right? When you're playing when you already know you're so much better than the opposing team, you take advantage and you start trying things, and you just completely tear them apart. And that's the confidence that he had in this game. And hopefully, we get to see this against Dortmund or something. Like that would be
that would be pretty cool. But again, my thing is like it's a minor thing. It's a minor pass, but like give respect where respect is given. What's up?
I think we went off again.
Yeah.
Alan, are you there with us?
No, he's not here. It's all good. Hey, sometimes it happens. We'll have frozen Alan here. Hello, Alan. He's frozen.
Again, for audio listeners, having internet.
Season's greetings.
Just a reminder,
this will just be the episode on YouTube because when I upload it, like it'll still be that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just a reminder for audio listeners, we do go live on YouTube every Monday at 8
Monday
p.m.
night, 181 weeks in a row.
So whenever we kind of stop going on topic, the internet went out today like a couple times, so that's okay.
That's today's. That's okay.
That is okay. Absolutely, stuff happens. We were talking about San Diego Loyal before Alan was just.
Yeah, it's just the thrashing of San Diego Loyal of Colorado, which is interesting because now they're going to see Colorado here at home. Les van a traer ganas. They're going to be angry. They're going to want to come back and have revenge for a 5-0 embarrassment at home for them. But in any case, we'll see if Alan can join us here in a bit.
Not back just yet. But yeah, anyways, I mean, San Diego Loyal are set to face Borussia Dortmund on July 27th. Get your tickets if you haven't. It should be a fun game to watch. I mean, the second best in Germany. Had it at the end. Choked it at the end. And I think the internet's back now, Tony.
Okay. I don't see Alan back. Where's Alan?
Alan's
there
back.
He is. There he is. But yeah, so I was saying like it was it's the offense goes through at some degree through Camden Riley. Like that last match, that last game, that last goal. I mean, yeah, it's a pass, but you know what? It goes through him. And that's something else that I want to just commend that his play is really good because even if it's a pass like that, like you're critical in that, and you've had an intervention in a goal for the past three games multiple times. And so much like I say, Adrian Perez, we give Bodley, we give this Camden Riley. All you need is the goal, my dude. That's all you're missing.
I want to see that celebration. I really do want to see that celebration. But I mean, again, like good result for San Diego Loyal. They sit now fourth. And Alan, we talked about it, right? If they end this away stretch still in the top 8, they're in a good running to fight for a top 4 spot with the games that they have at home. Now they're still sitting in 4th, 5 points away from Sacramento. The schedule gets easier in a way for San Diego Loyal.
Yeah, Borussia.
Could we expect San Diego Loyal? And I'll ask both of you this: is it fair to expect for San Diego Loyal to fight for a first place spot by the end of the season?
I mean, I think the way that we've seen them play the past couple weeks, I think the expectation is there. It's still a long way to go to get to the end, and I think we've seen Sacramento take a dip in form. San Antonio had a little bit of a hiccup. Locomotive is starting to come back down to earth. No wins in the past 5. Sacramento only 1 win in the past 5, and 5 points away from first place. I think people were upset with the way they played on this road trip, getting lots of draws. But I think they're feeling better coming into this break. You get guys healthy again, and then I think you can ramp it up. I think the team would probably say that we want to get first place, right? I think fans want them to get first place, and I think it's a possibility, right? If they play the way they played. Even against Indianapolis, taking out some of the mistakes, if you can eliminate some of those mistakes, I think you're really happy. 2 clean sheets in a row has been great. That was the knock on the team last year, as they let in too many goals. They're still averaging more than 1 per game, and so I like to see that come down, get a few more clean sheets, or 1 goal allowed performances, and I think that they can challenge for a first place. But again, I do want to caution that while they're only 5 points from first place, they're only 5 points from being out of the playoffs.
That is
So
true. That is true.
it's like I said, I think I've said this before. Like, this is an old school Western Conference USL season where there is not a huge difference between those in the playoffs and those out of the playoffs. And so Loyal just has to keep playing the game the way they want to play. 34 goals scored is second in the West to San Antonio again. And the defense is looking better. Not as you'd want them to be, but I think they're starting to kind of figure that out. They brought in a new guy. Camden Riley is being more and more comfortable in that back line. Kyle Adams hopefully comes back into form. And you got yourself, rotation in the back line, you got rotation in the midfield now, and you have rotation up top, and hopefully those guys stay healthy. That's what you want to fight for, and they're not that far out from Sacramento Republic or San Antonio, which I think is the 2 top teams that you're trying to chase down.
So in USL, you have the next matchup again with Colorado Springs that we were mentioning. Obviously, you don't know what they're gonna want revenge for being embarrassed 5-0 at home, regardless of the situation. So that'll be an interesting matchup because again, it's still a very tight race here in the West, as you're mentioning.
Sunday 3 p.m. game.
That is a Sunday 3 p.m. game. Rut-row at Torero Stadium.
I'll say if my sister wants to go for her birthday.
No, but again, before that, there is that little test.
3 games before. 3 days before.
3 days before. Yeah.
Borussia Dortmund, second place in Germany, coming to San Diego.
Play in San Diego against San Diego Loyal. Experience BVB live in the USA and get your tickets now.
Nice. Thank you. Is that Matt Hummels? No.
It's what it says it is.
It is Matt Hummels?
It's Mats Hummels. You can't tell from his voice?
No, it is
right
Matt
there.
Hummels.
On July 27th, we play in San Diego against San Diego Loyal. Experience BVB live in the USA and get your tickets now.
Matt Hummels.
BVB life.
I mean,
Yeah, so that's going
you
to
get
be...
to see your star boy Gio Reyna. Alan, are you excited?
Let's see how much this is, guys.
See him probably not play a whole lot.
What do you mean? He's going to start.
Is he? It's preseason for Borussia Dortmund. They're probably gonna play some academy kids. They're probably gonna play, a couple starters here and there.
It's one of those 3 days from this game they play Manchester United as well. So it's one of those at halftime you rotate the whole team. San Diego Loyal will most likely also do that, but it's great because we're probably gonna get to see Xavi play against Borussia Dortmund. We're gonna get to see Ferry putting in minutes as well. A lot of the other academy kids. So we're probably going to see the new right back getting minutes as well that they just signed. So it is exciting to see then finally play out Snapdragon. And I'm really curious to see how many people show up for this game. Is going to be on Thursday. And I mean, not anything against San Diego Loyal, but if it's a big crowd, it has to do with also being Borussia Dortmund, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why you play these, right? To try and grow
Draw an audience,
popularity
yeah,
of your
exactly.
team. Yeah, I think, looking at their lineup, they played a couple days ago against a club friendly on a Wednesday. Marco Reus played. You had, your friend who just spoke on the Mats Hummels.
On July
He
27th.
spielt out there. So you're going to get a couple names, and I think that's
Yeah.
what people want. You're going to get one of the Hazards, probably. I think it's fun for Borussia Dortmund fans. I know that there's several running around San Diego, but it's also fun for people who watch European soccer, right? Like we get to go see these, and where you might not see guys playing, they're going to be hanging out. Like it's about being around. So it should be fun. Like a nice Thursday night at Snapdragon where it's not sunny and hot, and you'll probably see better play than the last game we saw at Snapdragon.
Yeah, for sure, because that was the U.S. and that was painful to
Somehow,
watch.
heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
But anyways, after that, I mean, they are going to face Colorado again. Back in Torero. After that, they have 5 straight games at Torero Stadium.
There's no excuse. Go. Like, I mean, the way things are going, the way things are happening here in San Diego, it's fast and furious at times. Just make sure to, get out there because people miss each other. Go see your friends, your San Diego Loyal family
Enjoy
here
the
at San Diego.
whole month
Because
of August at home.
yeah, and yeah,
Pretty much.
exactly. So come on out, support everything that has to do with the movement, support Chavos, support the locals, support 109. They supported everybody at the Pride Parade. The Pride Parade looked fun. Again, I was busy working, but it is what it is. Anyway, Alan, any final message to all the millions and hundreds of thousands of Alanites out there listening?
Congratulations to you and all of the L3 fans on their much-deserved Gold Cup win. It's back where you want it to but
It's coming home. Sorry.
And it sets up it was unfortunate it wasn't a rivalry final, but good on Panama. I thought they played well enough to win against US. They probably could have scored several goals, and so it's nice to see Panama out there playing and in a final trying to get a trophy as well. So congratulations to both of you and the L3 fans. Also to Panama, they showed up. Like there was a small contingent there, and so they showed up. It was fun. And so that's all I gotta say, right? You rub it in when you win, and you take your lumps and be a good loser when you lose.
Well, you're the best of losers, it seems. So congratulations on that, Alan. Again, we tell you this in the text thread, but like, we really appreciate your expertise with everything USL and everything San Diego Loyal, because you help legitimize what we have. And like, it's one of the things that got us to the Gold Cup, man. And it's really cool to be able to have you on the project. And just again, we're it, man. We're it. We are San Diego soccer right here. So that's the only team in town that's still playing other than the San Diego Wave is San Diego Loyal. So you got to be about it, right?
Get out there to Snapdragon. Get out there to Torero for the next couple of San Diego Loyal games. We have them for a couple weeks here. 15 games left in the season.
Yeah.
It's going to come by quick, and then it's playoffs time, so we'll see what San Diego Loyal has. Is there anything else, gentlemen, that you guys want to throw at this episode? No? Alan's like, no. I'm
Perfect. All right, Alan, if we're going to go ahead and just end on this right here. Thank you for joining us. Stick around, Alan. I got some news for you. But with that, thank you for joining us. Subscribe on YouTube, 2 Balls and a Mic. San Diego.Futbol.
tired. Everyone.
Forever. Bye.